Welcome to Real Estate in the Lowcountry. Kate.Thomson is here, and it's been a minute since I've seen you. Good to see you.
It's so great to see you as
You,
always.
of course, are with Goosehead Insurance, our friends at Goosehead. So, always a lot to talk about, but today you kind of wanted to focus on liability. And the importance of the right coverage.
Absolutely.
What does that mean?
Yeah, and it can mean several different things for all the many occupancies. And on Hilton Head, we see just about the entire gamut.
Right.
It was your secondary home, but grandma fell and now it's vacant because no one can get there and we don't want to rent it out. Or it's a secondary home with short-term rental, or it's your primary home. And on all of these situations, it's very important that we notify the correct occupancy so your liability applies correctly.
Okay.
So
because if it doesn't apply correctly, it's not getting covered.
It could be touchy. Yeah. There's just more questions. It makes the claim more challenging.
Okay.
And it can be hard to make sure that we're doing justice by you and providing the right coverage.
Yeah.
But liability coverage is so important because in the event that you're ever sued, we want to make sure that in that suing instance, you are not getting funds taken from you that result in you losing the home.
Yes.
And we live in a litigious society.
We certainly do.
Very litigious.
Yes. So how do we determine really what we need?
Yeah.
And what the best course of action is?
Well, when we're talking and we go through our initial conversations, we do always discuss how are you going to use the home, and we try and work on it that way. But sometimes things change after we chat. I don't know about you, but life happens.
Right.
So if things change and you even just have a question about it, just call your agent. Just make sure you're in the best place for that. We always love a good unfenced pool conversation. And it just want to make sure that we still have you in the best place with your ever-changing lifestyle.
Well, and the interesting thing about, you mentioned the pool.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of places, you can't necessarily have a fence around your pool. Even if you wanted it, you can't have it.
Yep.
So that's a big conversation.
Huge conversation.
Yeah.
There are some companies that will accept it because it is within a gated and guarded community that does not allow for fencing. Hopefully, my friends in HOAs, we can reconsider maybe putting a fence around some gated community fencing pools. But in the meantime, until that happens, or if it ever does happen, there are some carriers that understand our very specific rules that allow for us to be a little flexible. There's a couple ways around that too.
Well, and what are some of the other things that we need to take into consideration, like the pool? I mean, what are some things we need to look at and say, okay, that really is an area of our house that could be an issue. A lot of houses are built up 14 feet, so that's a lot of steps.
Yes.
So what kinds of things are we talking about?
We're talking about railings up to code, making sure that any kind of elevated decking has the proper height restrictions in terms of the fencing, making sure that no one can just fall over it. And a lot of the times these are caught at the initial inspection, and they'll say, hey, this is a problem.
Yeah.
A couple of other ones I have seen would be like an uneven driveway, because we all love our live oak trees, but those roots can be pesky. Go right underneath your concrete and cause someone to trip, and that could be a tripping hazard. So they'll flag it, typically upon an inspection.
Interesting. And so is there a certain, percentage of your policy that goes to liability, or is that a scale? How does that work?
It's built personal liability or premises liability, depending on the usage of your home. If it's a primary home, it would be personal liability, which would extend off premises.
Okay.
Any secondary home or vacant home, it's usually just premises liability. But in those instances, the way that typically works is it's just built into the policy format, and liability is usually really cost effective. There are also what I would like to call umbrella policies that do go over top of your assets that can add even just extra liability to make sure that you have all of your assets protected, maybe not just this one, but
maybe not just the house.
Cars, golf cart, boats, other homes, investment properties.
And so when do you have the conversation that, hey, an umbrella policy might work for you or might be the best option for you in addition?
I try to talk about it every time.
Okay.
And even if there's just a question about it, just talking to have that conversation of, hey, I've been thinking about this, let's open up that door and discuss the liability to make sure that if you're ever sued, you're protected. So
is that something that every year as the renewal comes up, we kind of re-look at those things to make sure, again, we're in compliance for that?
I would, as everybody's opening up their renewals, just make sure you're having those thoughts, and make sure that then you reach out to your agent, and we would love to be those people at Assets for you to make sure that we're looking at that. But sadly, we are one you are many. So it's hard to look at every single one and reach out preemptively. So
Yeah,
we want to
right.
make sure everybody is looking at it and give us a
We've,
call.
we've got to be our own advocate
Yes.
and do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kate, good to see you. Thank you for the great information.
Thank you so much.